Hello and welcome back, fellow Prelude enthusiasts. As you may recall from the first episode in this series, I purchased a 1999 Prelude base model that had some assembly required, so to speak. After I organized all the parts that I got with the car, my first goal is to determine what condition the H23A engine is in. I'm going to do a leak down test with the engine out of the car. This will allow me to see how well the valves are sealing and tell me if I have blow-by on the rings. In order to do a leak down, the top and the bottom have to be in timing. Taking a step back for a second, to perform an H23 engine swap, there are many parts that need to be transferred from the original H22 engine to the H23. As it turns out, many of them were not included with the car that I bought, so I decided to make a trip to the salvage yard and purchase an H22 donor engine. With the donor engine in hand, I started to work disassembling both the H22 and 23 bottom end and reassembling it properly. For the bottom end, you'll need, from the H22, the oil pan. Notice the difference in the oil pan shape. It has to be the right shape since the exhaust downpipe goes right under it. You also need the inner baffle since the oil pan is not as deep, and the oil pickup from the H22. You need the oil pump from the H22. In my case, the guy I bought it from says he purchased a new one, and so I just removed it, cleaned all the gasket material off, and then reinstalled it. You also need the crankshaft position sensors and both the balancer belt drive pulley and the timing belt drive pulley. And finally, the engine mount. So after putting all this back together, along with a freshly painted oil pan, the bottom end is done. I also replaced the water pump and the cam seals. The stock H22 has a timing belt auto tensioner. I decided I didn't want to use the auto tensioner because if it fails, it could damage the engine. So I just followed the instructions online to do an auto tensioner delete. I'll cover the details of that in another video. Then I installed the timing belt. Once this was done, I was ready to do a leak down test, and I performed a leak down test on all 4 cylinders. Unfortunately, I lost the footage of the leak down test, but all of the cylinders had leaky valves, and 2 of them had a lot of blow-by on the rings. So bottom line is, I'm not going to put the engine in the car the way it is. In the next episode, we'll rebuild the engine.